as far as the steroids go, I think there's guys that are good enough to be in the Hall of Fame if they didn't take them. So I think they're okay if they get in. I think there's guys that were only good because they took them. And then I think guys will have a problem with that. Now, who's to say who's right, who's wrong, or who's taking them or whatever. I mean, that's all, who knows what was going on back then. But I would like to see Andruw Jones get in personally. I mean, we watched him in Atlanta. I mean, I did for 10 years down there, and it was incredible what he did defensively with his glove. I know his offensive numbers are almost good enough, if not good enough, but defensively there was nobody better. I mean, we laughed at places on the field where you saw him make a play in the third inning, and then the seventh inning he's literally 200 feet over on the other side of the field making a play. I mean, it was the ground he covered out there was incredible.
Yeah, all the singles he stole, right? Or right up the middle, because he played shallow and he could come in and he could still get back and cover back as well. So
still save doubles and triples.
Yeah, it's hard to put a number on that, how many hits he saved.
We were playing in New York one day, Coney, and I think, is it Brian McRae was your center fielder?
Yes.
He was in center fielder. In left center, there was like a 396 sign over there on the wall.
Yes.
And one of our guys hit a ball underneath that 396 and he went flying back. I mean, hauling assholes and elbows, reached out at the last second. I mean, slammed into the wall. I mean, it was freaking Sports Center play of the night. I mean, it was incredible play. And literally 2 innings later, their guy hit the same ball. And Andruw goes running back right in front of the 396 and he turns around and just, it was routine. I mean, it was like, and we just said, there it is again. That's the difference right there. I mean, one guy, it's a highlight reel, and the other guy, it's routine. We see it every night.
It's such a great point. Defense is finally, I think, because of some of the new metrics and WAR, for example, with the defensive component thrown into your ranking, I think we're finally getting it. There had to be a better way to measure defense rather than just fielding percentage or the old school way to measure defense. And one of the things I really love about some of the new metrics is that put a number on what Andruw Jones meant, or Ozzie Smith, or pick a player, the defensive component, and how much that saved pitchers like you and me. It matters so much.
Exactly. I remember Andruw was hitting like $180 when he first came up, and it was about a month into the season. And I heard Bobby tell him, Bobby goes, I don't care if you ever get a hit. He goes, you're saving us 2 or 3 runs a night just with your glove. Any run you knock in is a bonus. So, I mean, it kind of put things in perspective. Of course, after that, he started hitting, but,
Yes. It was some pop, too. So, yeah, I agree with you. He's definitely that's a whole, when you just know. I mean, he's got that feel, even without the numbers, because we watched him play so many years, but you just knew you were watching a Hall of Famer. So I could not agree more. There's so many players. I think the key for our generation is it feels like, compared to, back to the turn of the century, that our generation's underrepresented in terms of just overall players that get in. And so, Andruw Jones is a perfect example of that. Along the way, it seems like the bar's getting higher as we move further along in the history of the game, where, hey, what about these guys from the 80s and 90s? And that particular group is underrepresented in my mind.
Yeah,
no, it is, and it's backed up with the number of players inducted out of players who played 10 years in the big leagues or pitched for 10 years in the big leagues. How many of them are getting into the Hall? And it is a lot less. And Andruw Jones, he's someone who, it's surprising that he's gotten as little support as he has. One, just on the defensive end. So defensive runs saved, the fielding portion in WAR. He has 235 fielding runs, which is 4th all time behind Brooks Robinson, Mark Belanger, and Ozzie Smith, 3 all-time great defenders, and Jones is highest among outfielders. But he also, he wasn't just an all-glove, no-bat kind of guy. He had 434 home runs, and he had a good 8-year run where he averaged 35 homers and 100 ribbies. So what more do you want out of a center fielder?